there is this disease that which we all know, but even I said, how can this happen to me? Or this happens rarely. And that's the biggest lie. And I realized that if you catch it early, you don't have to die. There is no awareness because nobody's talking about it.
Nobody.
So I just need to talk about it. Instead of being why me, it was why not me. God had given me enough where I had something that I could go and get the best treatment. And it's heartbreaking to see what all they go through.
You people have come from an era जहाँ पे I remember speaking to Madhuri ma'am and she's like scripts कहाँ थी स्टोरी आके सुनाते थे हम फिल्म कर लेते थे
Really, एक पेपर पे 4 लाइन पे साइन हो जाता था. कई बार डबिंग होके रिलीज भी हो जाती थी. पेपर वर्क क्लोज करने के लिए हम लोग साइन करते थे. It was like that, you know. When I got onto social media because my team insisted I needed to have a social media handle and the blue tick, which is so important. And I thought it was a great idea to use the social media to form a book club, and that's what it has been. It's been 8 years. I remember when I went to meet Surajji, I was in a white salwar kurta. I had the silver jhumkas, and because I was not shooting, I had my nose ring on. He wanted me in Western clothes. I had gone like that because I dressed like that. I had gone like that to meet him and to hear the story. He said, if you wear Indian clothes, promise me I want you to wear this nose ring. I said, of course.
Hi guys, this is Ankita Bhalla. You tuned to Bollywood Bubble, and I think with Sonali Bendre, the first thing which came to my mind to interview was my entire office was fangirling, fanboying, and how you will see by the end of it. I have got enough requests to get lots of photographs, lots of signatures from you. How
Thank
do
you so much. Thank
But
you.
there is
Thank
like
you for having me. First
But
of
let
all.
me tell you, this group I'm talking about is a Gen Z group which
Oh.
is 18 to 22. And they have categorically asked me that I should be telling this to you, that they adore you.
I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Continue with it.
But how you feel when generations apart also, when people who are just seeing your work, maybe what you have done in 90s,
Yeah.
they're still in love with you. How does it feel to be?
Well, I can only be grateful for it because this is definitely not something one had thought, or that so many years down the line one would still be loved. But I can only say that I'm grateful for it. It's not easy. A lot of people crave for it, and I've got it. I cherish it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's like, I think is it okay to call you the 90s it girl? Like,
Well, in 90s, I was not
No,
really
90s,
considered
2000
the it girl.
but
There
now
were
they
many
have-
others.
yeah, but now when you look back, I think from all those many others, there are very few who are still there, relevant. People are
But
loving
I
them.
also felt that there was, I was a very distinct person
Yes.
even then. I remember when I came in, there were beautiful bouncy curls and really, I was a skinny, straight haired, lanky girl and I was really skinny. So,
Very model-esque structure. I
yeah,
should be
and
saying.
Hindi films didn't like that. They wanted a little more curvaceous, if I can say that.
But I think then you also ended up starting a trend for all that, I would say the new age look, which actually ended up
Yeah, I
becoming the
think
very 2000 look.
yeah.
Straight hair, sleek, slim, that
But
entire
well, it just
profile.
happened. My hair is actually so straight
Hmm.
that the default setting,
Setting.
as you call it, is straight. So it was so difficult to curl my hair and the amount of hair that I used to have that it was just easier to leave it open
Nice.
and straight. And yeah, and
Nobody ever recommended you to like chop them or go through a different
Oh, we
hair
tried
different-
all sorts of things. It would grow out, and I tried all kinds of things on it, and then it just grew back. So you continued with it.
You saw a period in 90s which also I think it's very relevant to ask this question today. How to put it, like the stellar cast, the entire ensemble. You have done so many films with so many co-actors and share the
Yeah.
space, and all of you were equally cherished, loved, and enjoyed the success. Cut to when we see today, I miss our I would say the big hug group kind of picture films. We don't get them anymore. What has changed?
I don't know. Do you not get them anymore?
No, I think you can ask anyone. The ensemble films are no longer.
I think it
the
also
thing.
doesn't. There were only that many films being made. Now there are so many more films being made, so many more voices that
Yes.
that you didn't have that many choices. There were only those many voices. Your movie had to cover certain parameters because that much of audience needed to come into these big theaters, and then multiplexes came in, and suddenly you could tell different kinds of stories, and then OTT came in and you could tell even more types of stories. Which is so amazing, because you what I couldn't imagine then was the different kinds of stories, the kind of characters that I get to play now. It would have been impossible at that point of time, but I'm getting that chance now. So I would say that each phase has its own charm to it, yes. And I prefer this phase.
This phase.
Yeah.
I think
because there are more stories that can be told.
You were talking about stories even previously and telling me, like, has this changed still? Like, people have come from an era जहाँ पे I remember speaking to Madhuri ma'am and she's like, scripts कहाँ थी? Story आके सुनाते थे, हम film कर लेते थे.
Really? और हम लोग मतलब वो भी एक पेपर पे 4 लाइन पे साइन हो जाता था, और वो भी कई बार फिल्म खत्म होती थी तब तक, अरे अब वो खत्म होने के लिए उससे पहले वो साइन करके खत्म कर दो. कई बार डबिंगों के रिलीज भी हो जाती थी, पेपर वर्क क्लोज करने के लिए हम लोग साइन करते थे. इट वाज लाइक दैट, यू नो.
But I think a little brighter side to this, I will also say, so much trust, so much faith you had in the people you were working with.
It was also much more intimate.
Yes.
And everybody kind of knew everybody, and you could go and tell somebody that, you know what, I'm getting a raw deal, and you know, it was not so corporate.
Yeah, it is corporate. Like Sanjita recently said also that I wish industry could become a little more familial again, because we are a support system to each other, and this industry can't survive just one singular unit kind of thing.
We need to support each other. But like I said, that there are certain aspects of the corporateness that comes into it that is good.
Yes.
But like I said, that if it could be a mix of the today's,
nothing like it.
Yeah, and a bit of the familiarity, the intimacy of that time, it would be ideal.
It would be ideal. But are you aware of this thing? Is it good to call you the Nirma face? The Nirma ad girl of 90s?
Oh my God, but after me there were many other girls who came in
but trust me, have you seen the recent Reddit thread which is on you? After you, of course, there were multiple other faces, and recently Shehnaz Gill became the face. But there is exactly a Reddit thread which traces back that why you are, and you will always be the OG Nirma girl.
Really?
You should be reading that thread. It's all over.
I haven't seen it, but
I'll definitely show it to you.
Sweet,
and it's like your entire shoot where they're wearing the skirts and going through the violins of the locations and trending.
Yeah.
I mean, how does it feel to be relevant in the Gen Z culture, otherwise also in the social space?
I think that film was shot so well also. You know, Kailash Surendranath had shot the film, and Aarti Surendranath, his wife, had styled me. And those were different times. You know, you went, you had fun on the location, you shot, and you know, were lovely. It was just shot so well.
So was it also the time where you would be styling your own looks, because some of them have actually turned out to be iconic?
No, sometimes yes, you would be doing that. But like I said, you know, Kailash and Aarti were the ones who did this particular ad, and
No, but I was like going through and my friends were like, listen, you have to just see this. And I was checking this thread and I'm like, wow, I wish I could just ask them that everyone is talking about her.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Reddit is a wonderful place for anyone who wants any kind of new information. Kindly go there and
check
do
it
that.
out. I don't know how to check it out. Please teach me how.
You will. OTT space, now doing a film finally. I think with Ali, that has gone on flow.
No, I'm not doing a film.
Oh, okay.
And I am right now not at liberty to speak about
okay, cool.
whatever is happening or not happening.
Yeah. The idea to ask you was that when will I see you in films again?
I hope so soon, because you know, for the longest time I was not doing fiction, but with Broken News I got back into fiction and I'm really enjoying it. And there are some interesting roles coming my way, so I'm happy to be doing that. But like I said, you know, so acting, fiction, non-fiction, that's my job. But at this point of time, there's a book that I have launched, there's a podcast that I've started. So lots of things that are happening that are exciting. And
I'll go with the books first. You've always been an avid reader. I think one of the only few people I have seen within the fraternity always talking about books, recommending. Always, whenever I open your social media, there is a recommendation, there is a book you're talking about.
Because I run a book club. It's called the Sonali's Book Club. And Sonali's Book Club is 8 years old now.
Yes.
And we are one of the biggest digital book clubs in South Asia. So, you know, it's...
how did you stumble upon the idea that, hey, I want to start a book club?
Because I just wanted to get back to reading. You know, I'd lost touch with reading after having my son, and I was so busy with life, and, you know, social media and internet had made my attention span shrunk. So I just wanted to get back to reading. And when I got onto social media, because my team insisted I needed to have a social media handle and the blue tick, which is so important. So I was like, okay, fine. I get onto social media and I say, hey, this is a great tool. So then I said, you know what? How do I use it well? And I thought it was a great idea to use the social media to form a book club. And it's a tool. It's up to you how you use it. And I thought I could use it in a positive way. And that's what it has been. It's been 8 years.
And I think reading is one such habit. Of course, it's a personal choice, but there's a joy of
Holding
a book. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I can describe it. Like turning a page, holding a book. Of
Yeah.
course, Kindle is great and
But I'm
everyone
finding
loves
the
it.
joy in the Kindle and the Audible also in different ways, but
Nice.
I'm finding the joy in it.
Nice.
I am I've grown to it also.
Nice. I wish
I've
I could.
accepted it.
Accepted it.
Yeah.
Then what was the thought also to go behind the Paw podcast? Like
The Happy podcast,
The Happy
yes.
podcast. What about that? From where did that come? As so cute little babies that you're going to be like floating around with. Like,
Can you imagine how cute is that?
it's tempting.
Yeah, well, I think you know, like I said, I am doing fiction, I'm doing non-fiction work. Touchwood is good doing different work, but at the same time, Sonali's book club leading to the Book of Books, which is the book that I've launched now, is a passion, and the Happy podcast, which is my fur baby, it's again a passion. So, you know, in 2018, what I went through just told me that life can be very short. There are a lot of things that you want to do.
Yes.
There are many facets to my personality, and I want to explore them. And how do I do it? So I just said that I can't say that, oh, one day I'll do it. I don't know if I have the one day or not.
Might as well.
And hence, I need to do it now. And so, how can I do it now? Oh, how can you do so many things together? That was always the thought behind. And then, but when you get down to doing things, you find a way. Universe comes into play, and things fall into place, and it all happens. You just need to be focused, or you just need to be determined to do it.
And I think this is rightfully, as you said, that we know, none of us knows what's going to be with our life any
Yeah.
day, any moment. So why not just actually go and seize the day, as they say, na? Seize
Absolutely,
the moment.
seize
Absolutely.
the moment. Yeah.
Sonali, you've also been so vocal about your entire process of healing. I would not call it just one particular aspect, but I would call it the process of healing.
Yeah.
You've been informative, you've been guiding people out there, you've been telling how to go about it. But when you see the misinformation also, because often and unfortunately in the age of social media, we also end up seeing people not treating the particular set, say, I would say for cancer rightly. Like, I remember there was this, not to shame anyone, but when Poonam Pandey wanted to do a cervical cancer awareness campaign, to go it with a hoax news of her death, a little sensationalization, with such a sensitive topic, how people deal with it, how you see, because I feel you were one of the few people who really gave out a lot of good information and in a lot of positive way.
Well, I didn't intend to do that, but I was working on a project that which every week there was a new episode coming out. So I needed to go for my treatment, and if
Yes.
I was going to be missing, and if somebody else had to take over, then there would be comments about it. There would be talk about it. I just wanted to put it out that it's not because I had had a fight with someone or something
And that
like
show
that.
was doing great.
was
I
doing
remember.
really
I
well.
know that for a fact.
I just wanted them to know that I was going through something.
And it's okay.
Somebody else was going to take over because I'm going to take off for
A couple
what
of-
needed to be done. And so see you some point. Maybe not, I don't know. So that is what it was, and I really needed to put it out there because I didn't want people gossiping about it. It was, internet was on, social media was on, my son was growing up, he was 12, nearly turning 13 at that point of time. So WhatsApp, my parents will hear rubbish about it. I didn't want rubbish spoken. I wanted it to be a clear-cut information as to what is going on and no gossip around it, no
Yes.
lies about it.
No lies about it.
And so that was the intention of putting it out. But the reaction that we got from it was like so immense. And what I realized was that, people from all stratas of the society, from the length and breadth of the country, from abroad, from wherever it was that they were reaching out, there were just so many people who have been through it, gone through it, had somebody who had been through it. And I was like, if this was so common, why is it not talked about?
It was like a taboo word up until like last couple
And I
of
didn't
years.
realize that it was I didn't realize it. And then I just felt that, my God, I feel like I am so aware. I am so, exposed to various things. I'm educated.
Yes.
I have made myself with all these things. Still here I am, not knowing the fact that there is this disease that which we all know. But even I said, how can this happen to me? Oh, this happens rarely. And that's the biggest lie. It's not a rare occurrence.
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
something, it's been going on from medieval ages.
Yes.
It's something that's gone on with various, I mean, in civilization, you see it. So why is it not spoken about? Why did it come as a surprise to me? And when I started figuring that out, I realized that it was not spoken about. And then I just thought that when I realized what this disease can do, and I realized that if you catch it early, you can cure it. You don't have to die.
Yeah.
You need to catch it early. But how will you catch it early?
And we are not aware only
If
how
you
to
test.
Exactly.
Why will you test? Only when you're aware of
Aware
it.
of it.
So I said, oh my God, there is no awareness because nobody's talking about it.
Nobody.
So I just need to talk about it. And then I said that, the one thing that I have in life is when you are a known face, good or bad, people are listening to what you're saying. I said, forget anything else. The rubbish that we all talk about, I'm sorry to say, but
Yes.
that is true. We are asked about so many things that we have no idea about. We are expected to give our opinion. And so many times when I was younger, I wanted to give my opinion also, thinking that I know so much. I don't know anything. I didn't know that there is this disease which is so big and which is so rampant, and I had no idea about it. So what do I know? What am I talking about? Just because I have a name and a face that is recognizable, does it give me the right to just talk about anything and everything? No, I need to be responsible about it. And I said the only thing that I can genuinely talk about is what I'm going through, because I'm going through it.
Yeah, you're living
This is
that
the
life.
only thing that I have the right to talk about. And then I said that, you know what, I don't know what happens to me. I'm always going to be positive that I should come out of it. But if nothing else, I want to make people aware of this, and I want this to not be a taboo. I want this to be a conversation where everybody talks about it. It becomes a normal conversation where you start testing, you go in for regular tests, and it's not a taboo, and you discover it early so that you can treat it and you don't lose lives.
And most importantly, you don't lose yourself. Like I remember speaking to Hina Khan the other day. And you have to live on, she says. You cannot just give up. There is a life you have to live on. Yes, it has happened.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So live with it.
Yeah.
And you just can't escape.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to have the right information. That's why I asked you that.
So
Because-
I've not really, what I do, and when I've spoken, I'm not giving advice because I'm not a doctor.
Exactly.
I'm not a doctor, but what I can talk about, and which I do talk about, is my journey.
Which
Which
is,
is
very,
mine.
and way too personal, and you have feel your body has seen it. You have
And
seen
so
it.
what I do is, I'm a private person. I don't really like talking about it, but in this topic, I promised myself that I will never lie about it, and I don't lie about it. So if I don't know, I say I don't know. And what I talk about is what I went through, what helped me.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that's what is going to help the other person. But usually what I feel happens is that there's a thought process to everything. And if you can explain your thought process, somebody else can find their own thought process through it. And that will be their own unique journey, because everybody is a different person and every cancer is different. And you have to find your own way and talk to your own body.
Can I ask you, if you allow me? Yes, it was a physical toiling process, but I think it's so much to do with mental strength. I mean, when I look at you today, and I have, as a journalist, I've covered the years you have gone through the treatment, and when I'm seeing you and talking to you today, so much of mental strength is required. The inner strength to be able to tell yourself that, yes, I can do it and I do have a shot at it.
No, I think for me the turning point, like I said, was instead of being why me, it was why not me.
Wow.
I had a support system. I mean, God had given me enough where I had something that I could go and get the best treatment. And so why not me? I mean, look at the people who don't have this and are going through it. And I do a lot of work with those people also. And it's heartbreaking to see what all they go through. And every time you see that, you look at yourself and you say, how dare you feel sorry for yourself?
Yeah.
You've been given so much. You must be great. You have to have gratitude for it. And so I have immense gratitude for that. Yeah.
And I
And
think
the thing is that, yes, physically, medicines and doctors do help you. But there is a huge part of emotional and mental well-being. And in that, for me, my book club was a part of it. You know, my family, my support system, my pet, they've all been part of that world of emotional and mental well-being. And hence, when I do my job now, do it with a renewed vigor, renewed, what do I say, sense of gratefulness that I have a job and I can go and face a camera again. Oh my God, I can do it. So the joy of that. And with that, understanding the fact that these were the things that nurtured me when I needed it. And so today, be it the book club and hence the book of books, which is for anybody who wants to be a reader and want to nurture reading. And then the happy podcast, which is the pets and your fur babies. These were the things that nurtured me through my journey. So just to be able to do that also while I do my job is something so fulfilling.
Yeah, and I think it's like life coming full circle. You actually found joy and love of doing things which, as you said, otherwise you were like, kar lenge, yeah.
Kabhi to kar
Kabhi to kar
lenge.
lenge.
One day I'll do it.
Yeah, in our 50s, in our 60s, that's how we normally think.
Yeah, and then you realize you never know if you have a 1 day, 2 day, or what, or no day.
Or no day. But it's been really, really inspiring to see. Okay, I've made it very heavy. I'm not going to do it more heavy with her. I met Suraj Prajatya recently, and I asked him point blank that why did you cast Sonali opposite Salman in Hum Saath Saath Hain?
Oh, what did he say?
I'm like, I really need to know. And he's like, I know from where you're coming. Everyone was expecting it would be a Salman and a Madhuri, and you know, because it was an iconic pair. But when I saw her, I'm like, बहुत ही सुंदर, बहुत ही Indian beauty, बहुत ही मासूम चेहरा था. And I'm like, I'm going to ask Sonali, did that role stayed with you? Did Dr. Preeti actually stayed with you for that long? I mean, I ask anyone, everyone describes you the same way to me.
Yeah, but you know, like, I don't think I'm Dr. Preeti in my life. I mean, it's
yeah, when I meet you, yes. Guys, matlab, please, there is more. So much more.
I'm not, I have, you know, that's really not me. But what I would say, I remember meeting Surajji and so when I didn't shoot, the Sonali at that age was with straight hair. I remember I always wore very thick piles under my jeans, which were flared jeans, crop tops.
Oh, there is an amazing picture of yours. I remember this yellow crop top and this flared jeans. It was a very popular photo on
that,
internet.
But yeah, I had and because my nose is pierced, I always wore a ring.
The ring one, not the stud one, the ring one.
So I always, and when I was not shooting, that was me. You know, I wore that, and I always wore Indian jewelry with my jeans. So either that, and I'm very comfortable in sarees or in Indian clothes, salwar kurtas and all of that. So I remember when I went to meet Surajji, I was in a white salwar kurta. I had the silver jhumkas, and because I was not shooting, I had my ring, nose ring on. And I knew when I knew they wanted me in Western clothes because she was a doctor and who was studying and all of that. So college going kind of a thing. So he wanted me in Western clothes. And so when I went, I had gone like that because I dressed like that. I had gone like that to meet him and to hear the story, which was fantastic because I heard the entire script with the music.
Wow.
Amazing. With Surajji enacting every character. It was fantastic. And as I heard it, I just kept feeling, I said, you know, I feel like I should be in Indian clothes because I don't feel like I fit into
the westernized
I said because you know her ethos and her upbringing is very Indian.
Yes.
And you know, I come from a very middle class Maharashtrian family, and you wear Indian clothes on a regular basis. You wear salwar kurtas normally also. So I said, but why do you want her in? But she's not in a hospital in a white coat. She's studying to be a doctor, and she's at home. And I see my cousins and everything also, and why would she not wear it? I just feel that she's going to stick out. He said, no, I have that look in mind and all of that. I said, I really feel that. Anyway, you know, he's the Surajji, whatever you say, I was okay with it. Then he said that, you know what, I have a condition, but if you do that. And he said, what? He said, if you wear Indian clothes, promise me, I want you to wear this nose ring. I said, of course. I take it out every time I go for a shoot. I will, of course. I said, I kept it on. And that's how this
The rest
character.
is history. Let's
Yeah.
put it this way. The rest
Yeah.
is history. That's how
Yeah.
we'll go about it. But I think that's one thing which also has stayed with me. I've been fangirl on it like for the most of my time. I have something last to ask you before I have a beautiful segment. But
Okay.
before that, tell me, we always hold regrets for something or the other in a career which is so long, so has seen so many ups and downs.
My God, you're making me feel ancient.
No, I'm not Felicia. I mean, anyone who passes a decade in Bollywood, na, kudos to them. Friday to Friday, people can't stay. Like, I have huge respect for anyone who's able to do even a decade in Bollywood. And come on, Sonali, not to be modest, people don't remember anyone anymore. There are very few actors you actually remember by name and by face. It's I think it's a huge thing. Was it ever a regret? Was it ever a film? Something which you couldn't do, you wanted to? Like, life always has that one thing. Maybe, like, I have my maybes. I wish I could turn back time and do that right.
Yeah.
You have any of those moments?
Yeah, but I think I also have got a second chance, and maybe I can do it now. That's how I look at it. I have a second chance now at life, and I hope I can do everything. And I'm not wasting time
Yeah.
because everything that I thought I would do, I'm trying to do it. So I hope I can do those. Of course, there are regrets, but I wouldn't call it a regret.
Maybe it's a too strong an emotion.
No, not because of that. At a certain age, I did take it as regret, but as I grow older and as I live on, I realized that those are learnings, not regrets. Because if they hadn't happened, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Yes.
So everything happened for a reason, for me to learn something, for me to deal with something that was coming ahead in my life, which I didn't know was coming at that time.
Yes.
But all those little moments, little regrets, feeling of regrets or whatever, shaped me to be the person I am today. And would I not be the person I am today? No, I would be. I mean, I have got this second chance because of the person I am or whatever. So what were regrets, now I understand, were learnings, and I take them as that and I move on from there.
That's lovely. But wishing you
That's
all the
true.
best with your book club, with the happy podcast, and I hope whenever I meet you next, it's for a new project, a new film, so
I
we
hope
can
so
talk
too.
about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, this is Sonali Bendre Behel, and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble.